everybody. Welcome to CT Films. My name is Cheryl, and this is
Chris.
And today we're doing another episode of Show and Tell, where one of us watches a show or has something to show the other person, and then tell the other person about. So today, Chris has something to show me. What you got?
So I'm going to talk about a video game today. So there's been a lot of video games that have been coming out in the last year or so that have been really, really big. We've already talked about like games like Baldur's Gate 3 on this channel. And there have been some games that are maybe not as well known, but have also come out that I think deserve kind of a look and still have high quality and are still AAA as far as like the level of polish that they have accompanying them.
Can I
And
guess?
so
Can I guess?
I don't.
Is it
guarantee
Pal
you do.
World?
No, it is not Pal World. I was like, I guarantee that you do not know what I'm about to bring up.
Is it
Yes.
Cyberpunk?
No, like obviously yes. Power World has come out. Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth has come out. Tekken 8 has also come out, and these are all like very, really, very, very big name games. Suicide Squad: Call of Justice is out, but that has a whole other thing around that. But no, the game that I want to talk about today is Granblue Fantasy Relink. So this is a RPG that is based off of the mobile game Granblue Fantasy that has been around for quite some time now, but it hasn't really been that well known as far as in the gacha games community. Like obviously people know about it, but as far as its like I guess popularity beyond that community, it hasn't really been something that a lot of people have heard of. It's something that I definitely didn't hear of as far as like the gacha game itself. The thing that made me notice it was because like way back when I heard that Platinum Games was working on an RPG where they were going to be working with this company called Psy Games, which are the people that do Granblue Fantasy, and that game was going to be an action RPG, and that then stuff happened. Platinum Games got off the project, and then it seemed like that game wasn't going to come out, but slowly but surely, Side Games kept working on it. They eventually had a fighting game that released called Granblue Fantasy Versus. Then that fighting game got a sequel called Granblue Fantasy Versus Rising. And then that came out in the end of December. And then as of February 1st, Granblue Fantasy Relink came out. So this RPG that they've been working on for, I want to say, like maybe 6 or 7 years, finally released. And it is gorgeous. It looks great. So it has this anime aesthetic, and if you've seen kind of like the cell shading that they use on anime type games in the past, then you've seen how this game looks. It's very well polished. It's got a lot of pretty effects and everything. But the thing that I really want to talk up is the gameplay. It is one of the most fun games that I have played in a long time. It has up to 4 players or 4 people that you can have in your party at once. But the thing that's also nice about it is that it's not just a single player game. It has a story mode that you can go through and you can experience it, and it has all these characters that have like this history. So there's some assumed knowledge that maybe you come in with, but at the same time, if you haven't like read the manga or played the gacha games, then it doesn't really matter too much. But if you have, there's some like call outs to things that have happened in the past. But you come into this game and the party is already together. So like most RPGs, they start off kind of slow where you have like 1 or 2 people, and then you slowly go through the game, and then you meet the rest of your party members, and then by like hour 7 or 8, maybe even 10, you have your full party list. But not in this game. You come in, you have 6 party members off the bat. They already know each other. They're already like ripping on each other. They're already feeling like a family. And so it hits the ground running right away. But then on top of that, they have another mode for the game that is actually a multiplayer mode where you can actually link up with 3 other friends, and you can go and do different missions together. And these missions are kind of structured like a Monster Hunter title, except whereas in Monster Hunter, you're kind of like having to like run across a whole map to find a thing, track it down, and stuff like that. And then you have a mixture of kind of and you like I guess this is kind of similar where you have a mixture of different like swords and guns and bows or whatever. But this one you kind of go into arena, and then you just start fighting, and it's full on like fantasy JRPG It leans into it hardcore, but it's absolutely gorgeous. It's absolutely beautiful, and it's one of those RPGs that a lot of people haven't heard about and haven't really been talking about. But it's slowly starting to get make the rounds, and more people are starting to find out about it. And I wanted to do my part in just spreading the word because I think that this game has a lot of heart and a lot of love put into it. So I want to make sure that other people get to know about it.
So is this the one? First of all, we don't sell things for other people for free. Okay, but no, but that's okay. I get it. Is this the one? Because I heard of a game that was kind of like an RPG that is kind of mixed with sort of like a dating sim. Is this that one, or is this something completely different?
No, this is something completely different. I'm curious what you might be talking about. There's a chance that you might be thinking about Persona, which is not really mixed with a dating sim, but I guess there
It's
are
like the
dating sim
gameplay
elements.
Yeah, like the gameplay style. Okay. All right, it probably is Persona, if Playmat thinks that too. But
Yeah.
what platforms is this game available on?
It's available on PlayStation 5 and PC right now. And unfortunately, there is no crossplay between PlayStation 5 and PC. It is also available on PlayStation 4 if you don't have a PlayStation 5, and it has crossplay between PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5. So those are the what you can play it on right now. So unfortunately, Xbox users, like, you wouldn't be able to play it on your Xbox. You just have to, hopefully, if you had a PC, you can play it on that if you don't have a PlayStation.
Right, and I'm sure people out there would want to know if there's a local multiplayer, or if it's online only. Because I wish there was more local stuff.
Yeah, no, that's true. I kind of wish there was more local stuff too. This one is online only, unfortunately, and I can understand why they did it that way. These kind of games can be kind of tough to have both, depending on how like it's structured. One of the reasons that this game kind of really pulled me in was because I'm a fan of this series of games called the Tales of series, and those who know me, yeah, so those that know me know that I have two favorite RPGs, or technically three favorite RPGs of all time, and that's Persona, Final Fantasy, and the Tales of series. And I've played most of the mainline games for Tales of since Tales of Symphonia. And the cool thing about those games were that they were full-on JRPGs, but they were doing something that other JRPGs weren't doing, or RPGs in general, where they allowed you to play with your friends. So almost every Tales game up until Tales of Arise had four-player local co-op. Now, those games are the opposite, where they have no online functionality. You could only play those games locally, and that was the only way that you could enjoy them. So that meant that if you at least enjoy them with a group of people, so that meant that you guys had to get together, go to each other's house, sit down, and you play through the story together. But it was a lot of fun, and I made a lot of good friends playing these Tales games. And so this game kind of evoked the same energy, but it doesn't have the local co-op aspect. But for where I'm at in my life right now, that kind of works fine because of the fact that since it has an online component, that's more convenient for me and my friends anyway, who aren't always able to be in the same place. And it even made it so that we could play with people that are like in Los Angeles or New York. So it's been really cool in that regards.
Yeah, I think that definitely online co-op is nice so that you could, game with friends that are not close by, especially, during the pandemic. But locals also, like, I wish there was an option for locals so that, when you are hanging out with your friends in person, that you could play more stuff like that. I did play Tales of Zestiria before, and that was pretty fun.
Oh yeah. So. Yeah, and if you've seen those games, like Granblue Fantasy Relink looks very similar, and it's got a lot of the similar like particle effects. It's got a lot of similar energy, but yeah. So I just wanted to. We don't have to talk about it too much longer. I just wanted to like just say that that's something that's been really important to me, and I've been really enjoying it so far. The story is kind of short, so if it's something that you're trying to get into because you want to get lost in a whole like 60-hour, 100-hour RPG story, that's not really going to do it. The story's probably maybe around 10 to 15 hours long, but the content can extend to over 100 hours in these side content and the stuff that you can do with your friends. So if you haven't checked it out, go check it out. Granblue Fantasy Relink. But yeah, that's everything I gotta say.